Hi everyone, this is Yana Smakula. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I wanted to jump in real quick and share some recent updates. So as you noticed, I know many of you have noticed that I didn't do club videos for Spellbinders for February, and I saw a lot of comments on the Spellbinders YouTube channel, also some comments on my YouTube channel asking me if I still do the club videos. And the answer is, guys, yes, I still do the club videos. The reason I didn't do the club videos in February was because, first of all, my package with the products that I use for these videos was a little late. And then when the package arrived, I needed to get ready and pack and travel to Germany for the Creative World show in Frankfurt that took place last week. So I was basically away for the last 2 weeks of January, and I literally just returned. I returned Friday night, but I've been in bed, catching up on my sleep, catching up on my rest, and I'm now getting back to work. So it's been crazy 2 weeks, and I just did not have time to do the video. So we had Mindy and Annie help us with the videos for February, and they're live on the Spellbinders YouTube channel if you want to check them out if you haven't already. But yeah, so that's the long and short of it, why I didn't do the club videos in February. I already have my club products for March, and I already have my club products for even April. I'm not going to share any sneak peeks, but yeah, I already have those. So I will be working on those videos for you guys. I won't do all 10 videos moving forward just because it is so much. And as much as I love Spellbinders clubs, it takes a lot of time and I just don't have that time. So we will try and have some help with these videos, but I will continue to do the small die, the large die, the stitching die, and probably Glimmer. I might do some other videos depending on how much time I have each month. February, for example, is a short month, plus there's a lot going on. So my goal for March is to do these 4. So all die videos you'll see from me. Now, I do have my February club products from Spellbinders, and even though I don't have projects to share, I still wanted to show you these products because I think they're really cool. I love Spellbinders club kits. I think they're great value. They are like, you know, happiness in a box. You receive your box every month, you open it up, and you have these beautiful, expertly designed products that you can play with and create and have fun. And there's this whole community online where you can connect with other people. You know, you can post your projects online. It's just a fun place to be, a fun subscription to be a part of. So my favorite this month is probably the small die of the month, and it is this beautiful set with the boots and also with flowers. So you have the spring boot. Of course, you have little parts and pieces to die cut the sole for the boot and like the top part here. And then you have different stems, and then you have different flowers. You have your tulips, you have your daffodils, you have the smaller flowers. So it looks like it's a small die set, but it's very mighty because there's a lot you can do with it. You can die cut the boots, you can have just one boot, or die cut multiple boots from different colors of cardstock, and then you just put the flowers inside. There are lots of different examples on the Spellbinders website, but yeah, I think this one is my definite favorite. Okay, let me put this one aside. I do need to organize my dies. I like to have them on these magnetic sheets, but I only have one sheet ready, so I need to cut some sheets, and then I'll be able to organize my Spellbinders products, because I do like to go back to these, especially, you know, some that are my favorite. Okay. Next, we have the large die of the month, and this one is also an awesome die set. You have a basket, and then you have a bunny, and also a bunch of things, more flowers, and then even a carrot to add to your basket. So the basket can be made with a longer handle. So if you are into larger cards, 5x7 or slimline, you have this option. Or you can make the handle much smaller, like this, or even smaller than that. So you have options. You know, you don't need to use the handle, the full length of the handle. You can shorten it if you want. Then we have this adorable bunny. So, I mean, you can't really tell what it is, but you have the behind of the bunny, you have bunny paws, you have bunny ears, and then this cute little bunny tail. And you can replace this with a pom-pom. If you have one of those, you know, fluffy pom-poms in your stash, you can use that for the bunny tail. Now, look, this piece looks like it's a detail for the basket. Then we have some flower stems, and these again can go inside the basket. A stem for the lily of the valley. That's a beautiful flower. I've seen some amazing examples. So you have the flowers here as well. Another leaf, so several different leaves. Then there's the carrot die. I'm sure there is, okay, this is the topper, the greenery for the carrot. Another tulip. These look like they're petals for the tulip. And then this looks like another die for the bunny. I would think that you can mix and match dies from the small die of the month and the large die, and, you know, use the flowers interchangeably. Also, you can use these flowers alone. You don't necessarily have to put them in the basket. Also, you can put other things in the basket. It doesn't have to be a spring basket. It doesn't have to be an Easter basket. It can be a Valentine's Day basket. It can be a birthday basket. It can be a basket filled with chocolates. It can be a fall basket filled with mushrooms. It can be a Christmas basket filled with little pine needles, you know, like Christmas gifts or whatever. So you have options. And I love that Spellbinders does these large elements, like the large basket. It's pretty big, and then you can customize it in many different ways. So this gives you a ton of different options. Moving on, and here we have the stitching die of the month, and this looks like it's a full A2 card front. So you have the main die. I know, again, you can really tell much from just looking at the die, but I'll insert a photo from the Spellbinders website so you can tell what it is. So it looks like you have a fun little background with some die-cut leaves, some die-cut flowers. By the way, these flowers, these round little flowers, let me bring them closer to you. So these round flowers, they're always great to do that different kind of stitch. You know, I think they're called cabbage roses, rose embroidery stitch. I showed that in one of my previous videos. I'll link to that. So it would be really fun to stitch these in that sort of more unique and creative way. You also have the main flower die in the center. And here you just do simple lines, although you can, you know, you can do some creative stitching if you want. You don't just necessarily need to do simple lines. And by the way, if you're not into stitching, you can just die cut and leave it as is. It does not have to be stitched. It can be used as is. And then there's also the flower center die, and then the circle die to cut the flower center out. So that's the stitching die of the month. I look forward to stitching it when I have a little bit more time. Moving on, next we have the Glimmer of the month. So this one is a beauty. We have a large glimmer plate. So we have beautiful daffodils, and these look like they're large enough for an A2 card, even slightly larger. Here I have a card that I made previously, but I wanted to show you the card size. So this is an A2 card, so 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And if we put this plate on top, you can see that this is a pretty large plate. So it covers an A2 card beautifully. If you want to do 5 by 7, it works for that as well. You can put it off to the side, you know, to the left, to the right. You can scooch it down a little bit. So you have a ton of options with this. Of course, what I would do is I would foil this in matte gold foil, my favorite foil color, on the Simon Says stamp, 130 pound or 120 pound cardstock. That is my favorite cardstock for hot foil stamping and for Copic coloring or any sort of alcohol marker coloring. And then I would just color this with alcohol markers. I probably would have done you know, a white background. Daffodils, you know, they're symbolic of spring. So I probably would not do a dark dramatic background like I usually do. So I would just color the daffodils, maybe yellow, maybe pink, because I have seen some really pretty pink daffodils out there. And maybe I would have done like a simple light blue background just to mimic sky. So that makes a beautiful, simple card. Now we also have some sentiments here, and the sentiments read, "You brighten my day." And there's a coordinating die for this sentiment, which I love. And then another sentiment says, "Sending Easter blessings." I think I read it correctly. And then again, we have a coordinating die for that as well. So that's the Glimmer of the month. After Glimmer, we have the clear stamp of the month, and this one is just stunning. You have this beautiful flower in an arch shape, and get this, the coordinating dies cut everything out for you. So they cut the arch and they cut the flower. So you have a beautiful focal point for your card, and this also allows you to do shakers or like like inset designs. Very beautiful. I have seen some card examples where this flower is, I think it's a lily. I don't know. It feels like it's a lily. So I've seen some amazing examples of how this lily is colored. So if you are looking to color this and you don't know what colors to use, look online. There are beautiful examples. I think there are some amazing examples on the Spellbinders website as well, and on the Spellbinders blog. So this stamp set comes with a bunch of sentiments. So you have the spring greetings, and this, so like these curved sentiments, they're meant to go on top here. So the curve follows the curve of the arch perfectly. Then we have the Happy Easter, and of course there are coordinating dies to cut all of these out. You have Celebrate New Beginnings, Spring Blessings. Nope, that's upside down. Nope, this one is for You Are in My Thoughts. This one is for the Spring Blessings. Thanks for your friendship, and Live Life in Full Bloom. So that's the clear stamp of the month for February. Next, we have the embossing folders. Let me grab those. So first we have the 2D or the regular embossing folder, and this one is simple yet very beautiful. I know you guys can't really see much, but again, I'll add a photo so you can see what it looks like once it is embossed. I really like the tiny little flowers here and the leaves, and then like this big flower shape. This makes for a great background for any sort of card. You can also emboss half of a letter sheet, score it down the middle, fold it, and have a folded and embossed card base. So I really like to use these 2D embossing folders for that. I like to create embossed card bases. It's just, it gives your card a different look, and it's an unexpected look, and it's a cool thing to do. So give that a try if you haven't already. So that's the 2D embossing folder for February. This is my favorite, I will say. This is the 3D embossing folder for February, and oh my goodness. So we have little Easter eggs with like little bows attached onto tree branches. So we have a tree in the background, we have leaves, we have little flowers, and then a bunch of different Easter eggs. This is such a darling folder, perfect for Easter, perfect, for these Easter cards. And I would just emboss it, maybe add a little sentiment, maybe add a die-cut bunny, and call it done. It's a great folder for very minimalistic cards. Okay, moving on. Next, we have the Better Press of the month. Here it is. This one is actually a beautiful floral cluster. Then we have the hummingbird with a coordinating die. We also have a sentiment, and it says, wishing, well, I can't read this. Wishing you a lovely day. And then the second sentiment says, sending you a fluttering hello. I think I read that correctly, but if not, I'll add a photo and you guys can read the sentiments from the photo on the Spellbinders website. So beautiful, better press play. I would probably press this in black and then just do some coloring with, you know, my Korean brush markers or colored pencils, and then just add a little hummingbird, add a sentiment, and done. You have a beautiful, beautiful card. Last, or actually not last, second to last, we have the wax seal of the month, and this is a beautiful lily of the valley. Let me bring it closer so you guys can see. It's an oval wax seal. I love oval wax seals. They're a little trickier to do. What I have found is that you need to use 3 beads instead of 4. If you use 4 beads, you will get like a fatter seal. If you use 3 beads, you know, the size of the seal that you get is going to be just, you know, about right. So my trick is to use 3 beads. The color of beads included with the wax seal for February is Fern and Goodness. This is such a beautiful color. It's one of the newer colors. By the way, I have a bunch of the new Spellbinders wax seal colors, wax seal bead colors, and I do want to do a video showing you them. I haven't had time. Like I said, literally, I have just finished doing laundry after that 2-week trip. So I have a lot of catching up to do. And guys, I promise to be back with more videos, and hopefully I'll have them, you know, scheduled regularly so that I don't go missing for long periods of time. But anyhow, so this is the February wax beads. And we also have the stencil of the month for February. Now, I don't have the full stencil set. So my stencil set is actually missing 1 layer. So I have 3 layers here. There's a 4th layer. Again, I'll add a photo so you guys can see all 4 layers. But basically, these are all separate stencils. So you get 4 different background stencils or partial, you know, stencils that you can use to create beautiful backgrounds for your cards. Remember, you can emboss with a stencil. Use your 10 embossing mat in your Spellbinders Platinum or even Spellbinders older die cutting machines like the Grand Caliber. Use the 10 embossing mat and you can emboss with a stencil. You can ink blend through a stencil. You can use a paste through a stencil. You can use glitter paste, or, you know, there are different kinds of pastes. You know, there are like glitter pastes, fluffy pastes, dimensional pastes. And the last but not least, we have the gift for the Deluxe Caboodle Value Club members. So if you are a member of the Value Club for Spellbinders for February, you're going to get this darling little hummingbird with a coordinating die. And then there's also a sentiment which reads, "Hello, Spring," and then a sentiment has a coordinating die as well. So that's a look at the Spellbinders February Club. Kids, again, guys, I'm sorry I don't have projects. I will have projects for some of the March Club kids. I can't wait to get back into my craft room and into creating. I have missed this tremendously. I did enjoy creating at the show. I was demoing at the Spellbinders booth. I was showing the new Better Press registration templates and also Better Press in general and wax seals. And it was lots of fun. I did share some clips on my Instagram stories. I do have them saved in my Instagram highlights if you missed those. So be sure to check those out if you want to see a peek at what I was sharing at the show. But anyhow, I will be back soon with more inspiration and hopefully more chit chat. Thanks so much for spending time with me today. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time.